All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. It's not the best market. We've kind of been, getting bullish and not so bullish and bullish and not so bullish. We're in a not so bullish mood again here today. The markets have, and even the stock market. Hey, what up, English? Even the stock market here kind of taking a vote of no confidence in the markets overall. So S&P down, Nasdaq down. Volumes are relatively heavy. Big tail at the end of the day there. Nvidia took a leg lower towards the close. I think even Reddit and some of these other leading stocks started selling off. I'm not sure what some of the big names did, but I'm showing you stocks because I think they're a bigger proxy right now for the general investing environment, not even necessarily crypto, because crypto lately kind of has gone a bit with the traditional markets. I think there's a lot more investment, involvement, and a lot of people treat everything the same. So if they're bearish on stocks, then mentally they're going to be bearish on crypto. And that even goes for some institutional investors. So from that perspective, it kind of explains the weird chop that we're noticing. Still, while sitting at really high levels, we're actually still over 100,000, which isn't a bad thing. It's arguably a good thing. We're just kind of waiting and taking our time up here. One of the questions is, do you want to participate and hold money in assets while it's chopping around, um, even at high levels? So that's a question you kind of have to answer for yourself. I generally don't. Sometimes that leaves me in the dust. Sometimes it's a good thing, and vice versa, right? So sometimes it'll pay off well, and sometimes it'll make you have losses. And I'm just really just about avoiding losses for the most part. I try to find obvious situations to trade. This was not super obvious. We do have some good things going on here. High volume hammer candle here, like what 4 or 5 days ago, and then that's distribution. That's some accumulation, and that's a straight up doji candle on pretty high volume. So you're getting a little bit of mix of confusion from the sellers, the buyers, and the undecided candles. There's three of them for you on the three highest volume candles. So what can you say about that? Well, I think the indecision candle wins the day. Hence, we're just going sideways here. So BTC just going sideways. Had a chance to move up a couple days ago here. Couldn't get the job done. Showed some good pocket pivots, but no follow through. You get a couple of wicks. There's just a small sideways, little high. Then we go sideways. Then we try to go up and can't. Try to go up and can't again, and then again and again. Then we come down and try to go up again, and we can't. Now we're lower. So that's that. I don't think that's necessarily a horribly bad thing, but it pretty much means that there's not a lot of appetite for bullishness in BTC right now. Um, yeah, and kind of across the board, the only thing looking really good, I think, is OM. That's just had a tremendous rally. If you're paying attention to that one's been doing excellent. Really not breaking too many rules, but we'll cover that in a little bit. Hey, what's up, Mike? So, but other than that, just chop on BTC, and I mean everything says chop. It is chopping. It's even chopping through the moving averages. You've got the 50 loosely, very loosely supporting us here. The 10-day still above the 21-day in blue and orange here. So there's the blue, there's the orange, there's the purple. And a pretty good spot. So we'll see. We could bounce back, but like I said, I think the markets are choppy all around. Um, you can try to find reasons. I'm sure you could come up with several reasons, but none of it really matters, to be honest with you. It just matters that it is choppy. What up, Loopy? For first Fed interest rate cut. Yeah, well, they had a thing. They had a Fed meeting this last week. I think it was Wednesday, and they said that inflation was lower than expected or something, which does imply lack of Fed rate cut, which is probably why the market didn't get very bullish. Of course, they're going to show nothing but China. I don't know if I can, or Trump. I'm not sure if I could pull economy maybe. Yeah, key Fed measure shows core inflation in line with expectations. I thought it was a little bit lower than expectations. GDP grew to 2.3 pace, less than expected. So GDP growing less than expected. So Let's see what that means. Full year GDP accelerated 2.8 compared to 2.9 in 2023. So they're in their 2% range, a little bit high. So I'm not sure if they're going to cut rates if they try to get to actual 2%. And so that's probably part of the malaise in this market is, the stock market is the Fed is looking for 2 and they're getting 2.8. So maybe they'll just let it dwindle a little bit. I don't know. Today's GDP report confirmed U.S. economic expansion continued apace into the end of 2024 on a relatively firm footing. It's just some investment guide, some place called Glenmead. Spending put in exceptionally strong showing in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I mean, maybe they'll jump up on a Fed rate cut. It's possible, but if things are a little bit strong, that may not come. We could be just in for a year of chop in terms of the Federal Reserve and the market, not getting a lot of cuts. So we'll see how it goes. But right now it's choppy for the market generally. And really, whoever has the most money wins. If the buyers want to push it, it'll go up. If the sellers want to push it, it'll go down. And we may be in such an environment where the buyers get sold into and the sellers get bought. So, because we're not bad, we're not great. We're just holding and maintaining the status quo, which is great for an economy, not so great for a market. And like I said, I think it shows in the indexes. But BTC and the stock market both are not in bad places. They are both. I thought I had some of the. Yeah, here we go. They're both not in bad places. BTC high, S&P high, Nasdaq, just had a little pullback, a little breakout. Now we're just chopping it up sideways. That's kind of like what Bitcoin's doing. And so I don't think there's anything bad here, anything wrong. I just need to find a true direction. And I don't know, maybe it'll come. I don't know what's, I don't want to get political, but I don't know what's going on with these Trump tariffs. I mentioned maybe when he gets into office, things will be a little bit more stable. Um, Maybe start to move up, maybe find a direction. And we're just kind of chopping around again. No one knows what's going to happen with these. Maybe the tariffs will be good, maybe they'll be bad. I don't think anybody knows. I, I don't have the best memory when it comes to the only thing I remember is when we went into a bear market in the end of 2018. Trump was doing the China tariff thing, but that was also conflating with potentially raising interest rates. And they also both resolved themselves at the same time. So it's hard to say which was which. If the tariffs are a good or a bad thing, we don't have rising interest rates on the horizon, just the tariffs. So we still have an unanswered question that is a variable in our markets. And I think that is the thing that really needs to get answered. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's go down cryptocurrency markets, which really are just chop. I mean, everything's in limbo, Loopy, exactly. All these charts are in limbo too. You got Ethereum, which tried to have a go yesterday, really did. Nice move up. You look at the volume that stepped in, high volume here at the high, which is actually when I did my newsletter yesterday, and then just immediately reversed. The A tool didn't really take a big leg lower. We came down, found some support. But on the daily yesterday, it ended up looking like a stalling candle. But we're still right there at the trend line. Again, a little choppy. Nothing really definitive in terms of direction. Do you want to take chances up here? If you bought yesterday, you're a little underwater. Hopefully, you can come back if if we don't continue chopping lower into support here around the 3K level. You got Solana now kind of lower in its bear flag after a few days attempting the trend line break. Just couldn't get started. Now we're lower. Volume is low. It's a weekend. It's just tough situations right now. Hard to put a lot of risk on the table. BNB chopping under the trend line here. Not my favorite look. We got a little tight here for a minute. We dropped. Now we're just choppy again. XRP starting to look a little bit worse for wear. We're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater here, but we did take a step lower over the past 24, 48 hours, 36 hours, I guess, and living a little bit lower. What's my kid talking about? Kid sending me YouTube short videos. I'll watch it later. It looks funny though. Yeah, choppy lower. We got a solid red day yesterday. Today, kind of a solid red day, but volume's lower. So I don't think there's much really to read into that. Ideally, this trend line holds, and it has still several days until that even gets tested. So not much to do there. Doge choppy lower, not much to do there. Cardano, not much to do here. Choppy lower, unable to try to rally back up is a negative. Unable to get to the breakdown point here, also a negative. So a little more negative than positive. And you start looking at the altcoins, which I don't have too many in the newsletter today, but we can look at them. And there's not a lot of good looking stuff there either. Tron, I guess trying to fight the good fight here. Up a little bit out of this diagonal, just going horizontal, kind of looking like a cup and handle, maybe. Do you try it? Tron, if you remember last year, it was kind of working on its own all year from these lows, broke out kind of on its own, had a couple other breakouts on its own. So I guess it's possible it could try to rebound back up towards these 45-cent levels of recent highs. So that could be something to maybe hang your hat on, is play with a little bit of Tron, which has been relatively stable here and ignoring most of the general market action, which is a positive. So now that I'm here looking at this, thinking about this, yeah, maybe Tron could be a possibility as it is doing its own thing. Shiba Swap, not looking very good. Series of lower lows, no higher highs. Recent history at all, really. Same with Ton, just chopping lower, no higher highs. We have found some loose support. Not even loose support, it is support, but it's not the support that changes a trend. Just a little bit of buying here and there. AVAX, bunch of choppy chop, blah, blah, blah. SUI even got choppy. We had move up the other day. Now we're rolling back over. So are we finding a low for SUI? Out of what was a really good support candle on Monday, can that support hold? Is this going to be a new structure? It's a little too soon to tell, but it's definitely symptomatic of something potentially good for me. Tradable? No, it's not tradable. You can't do anything with it. But most of the time, you can't do anything. So I do think it's good just to see that and know that that's there. Bitcoin Cash, choppy garbage, Chainlink did try this maybe channel formation, but the resistance at the trend line too much, and now we're just lower. VA tool never really got off the floor. RSI never really got diverged or really that good either. So just a bunch of chop. How many times you guys want to hear me say chop today? Because it is a lot of chop. Pepe bouncing back. Had maybe a run at it yesterday, right up to the breakdown point, failed. Back at it lower again here today. DOT up to the breakdown point, no follow through. Healthy consolidation or top chopping signs, TBD. Yeah, TBD. And I think that's key, especially as a trader, to be determined. You don't have to trade any of this. I mean, most of this is just absolute garbage, Chopsville. I don't even know the best way to trade it. I mean, if there were options in crypto, I would say maybe you can short a call or something, sell a call, take a little bit of premium in if you want to do that. But options in crypto don't really exist very well, and if they do, the only platforms I've seen have really wide spreads or are very expensive. So maybe selling those is advantageous, but you don't want to buy those. But other than that, there's really not a lot to do. I mean, just capturing small things here and there. There's really not a lot going on. Near protocol, choppy down. Leo has been pretty stable. I thought if the market was going to go, Leo could be on the verge of a run, as it has been very tight for the past week and a half, 2 weeks. That's still on the table. Leo could potentially do something, but it does move quickly when it moves. You have to take that into account. Hard stops are a must on that one. And then Litecoin, which looking like it was getting ready for a run, started stalling yesterday right there, and then unable to really come back. You have some high volume selling today on a Saturday, which is a little bit unique in the market. There really isn't very volatile today. You do get some high volume selling candles. That throws a wrench in things. So now your handle has a handle, and we'll see if we can come back from this. Maybe moving this up to there right now would be advantageous. Probably get rid of that trend line, even though it's valid. Probably get rid of that trend line, even though it's valid. And you kind of have a cup and handle within a cup and handle. Yeah, there's your cup and handle, and there's your cup and handle in the handle of the cup and handle, which I do see fairly often. Although I don't actually know if it's a good or a bad thing, to be honest with you. I haven't done enough studies about cup and handles within cup and handles to give you a lot of data. And I say it out of amusement, not out of the fact that it's a good or a bad thing. But I don't like Litecoin rolling over. But with the markets the way that they are, I don't think it could be unexpected. VA tool, a little bit bullish on the way up. Tremendous amount of pocket pivots. You're hoping for an extension, but we stall instead, which brings the or the buying pressure down on the VA tool, leading to a more normal looking situation, which is under this high at about 146, 147. And that is really what needs to get taken out. 147.06, as a matter of fact, is the high there. That's what needs to get taken out. So the cup and handle high is actually this one. This is your breakout point at the 141.22 is the high of this candle. And this chart still looks really good. So I don't want to discount that by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, the pullback here could be bought if you want to play very aggressively, if you do believe that Litecoin is on a mission. And it kind of looks like it is, you know. And the other thing about this too, now that I, just talk crap about Litecoin for, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes, is that coins can kind of move by themselves sometimes. Maybe Litecoin's got enough to do it. It's fully possible. The chart looks, if you look at the daily chart and kind of forget we were looking for another move up out of there towards the highs. If you take that out of the picture, just look at the daily chart. It looks good. The action yesterday, while we didn't like the pullback, was relatively low, about 60% of the prior day's volume. Kind of normal for a declining volume trend. Today's we'll see what today brings. It's not over yet. It's still got almost 8 hours, and we got tomorrow to go, then Monday. So maybe Litecoin will look better. I do think it's still one of the best looking charts in the market. APT not so much. That's my segue. APT not so much. Um, Yesterday, inverted hammer candle, not a good one there. This one hasn't looked good anyways, so not much time to spend there. Uniswap failing at support, or I'm sorry, resistance. Look, got right to it, tried to wick above it. Bam! That'd have been a great short candidate, right at a horizontal. And that's all I got to say about that. Other than that, not much to do down here. And then OM, which is in its own little universe, going up 50% in 8 hours here. Um, Declining wedge, broke out, didn't look back. Now we're consolidating again, looking pretty good. VA tool on the 2 hour looking a little bit choppy, but the price action not so much. Looks really good. Okay, already taken out that trend line, so losing a little bit of that momentum. Volume's also a little bit lower, and I did this yesterday in the show. You look here at the high volume spikes all the way up. You get a high volume spike here for this leg, and look at the volume here, much less spiky. And the VA tool shows you that. Much less buying pressure as we go up in this small leg. So how far can you go is the question. And it's a very valid question. Not that OM's a bad candidate, it's a good candidate, but it's already run a tremendous amount so far. And without selling pressure, it can go, but the second selling pressure starts to come, I'm not sure there's enough buying pressure to kind of sustain the uptrend. Okie dokie. That's it for the top 20. And the theme is a bunch of garbage. That's really the theme. I do have a couple of USD pairs. And like I said, I'll go through and just go down the USD pairs for a moment just to show you how choppy the rest of the market is. So GT we've been following, starting to roll over here. It was looking nice and tight. Look at the tight action right there. Lower highs, higher lows, comes to kind of a crescendo and then goes down. Not the best thing. Volume isn't tremendous though to the downside, so we could try to come back. I say just kind of watch it and see what it does. Oh, it's HTX. This thing always splits the day at a weird point. It's 5 o'clock my time. Now it's 9 o'clock my time for HTX because I'm pretty sure HTX is in China, right? So maybe they go by their day. I don't know. But I have this set to my time zone. It's really weird. Anyways, Gate has been just phenomenal. I've covered this almost every day now for a very long period of time just because it warrants covering, and that's one thing about the newsletter that I was saying the other day. You see coins on the newsletter often, they're usually decent performers, even if they're not doing anything technically great. Just the fact they're on the newsletter consistently generally can be a good thing. So keep that in mind. as you go through the newsletters. It's just something I've noticed as I put them together, and I really try not to put them together with any kind of bias. The only bias I have is if I've covered it recently, I try to stay covering it until it's unactionable. That's really the only bias that I have. So Qtum. Speaking of biases, when's the last time we covered Qtum? Where's Qtum? Yeah, I don't know the dynamic here, but this thing getting a tremendous amount of volume yesterday for some reason. Had a very tiny cup thing there, nothing really going on. A lot of charts had that, and then bam. Let's see what news is going on with Qtum. Anyone know? Anyone know? Number 149. How the mighty have fallen. Jeez. I think this has a news section. Yeah, there we go. Quantum news. 3 weeks ago, Quantum launches community test event for Ethereum. Okay. That was 3 weeks ago. Okay, what's over here? Latest. 25 seconds ago. This started going about 24 hours ago. 31st. No one knows either, huh? Taking the space, rising by 2.24%, and Sue experienced a dip of 9.05%. 3 hours. Look for 24 hours ago. I don't know if there is anything. Could just be one of those strong breakout resistance. Yeah, where's Qtum on any of these? Shouldn't these just be Qtum tweets or whatever? You'd think so. So yeah, nothing really. Nothing. Nothing for sure. Okay. Okay. Yeah. See, there's the heydays of Qtum over there. Second bounce over there. Remember that too. So I don't know. It could just be a pump and dump, but you do see some dumping right in here. I guess even all the way up, the VA tool shows you the selling pressure has been fairly consistent. Buying pressure bigger. Hard to trade this. I think especially with these wicks up here. I generally just avoid this action, but I figured I'd look it up since we're live today. But yeah, I can't really attribute this to much. News. January 10th. That was weeks ago. So nothing really, nothing major that's newsworthy there. So I don't know, maybe somewhere else. Maybe somewhere else. But anyway, I just thought it was volume stepping in. May as well talk about it. I mean, could it stair step its way up? Yeah, sure. Wait for volume to calm down. Wait for things to break out. Um, but you can see right here as it broke up initially with the volume, they started. Well, here let's go to the 1 minute. It's fairly new. Not much else to do. Okay, so there's your initial run up. You draw a horizontal across here, which is arguably where they started distributing. This is the thing about these big pumps like this, and then you see these moves above it that spike up and come back down. Generally, what you'll notice is that initial distribution, that point horizontally becomes a very big resistance line. And we did have a nice run up here, but then bring it all the way back down, and they're kind of unable to maintain above that line. And I think that's what's happening right now, which makes this generally not a good. This needs to be like that. Generally makes this not a good thing to trade unless you're going to sell these spikes. But even that's tough to do. You guys got to be on point and practice doing that to do that effectively. I've tried. I can kind of do it, but it's not something I want to spend my life doing. Which is kind of how you have to do it. You have to spend your life um, shorting those types of events. But those are some of the best ones if you can do them. So, RSIs at extremely high levels. It's just tough, but VA tool pretty mixed, not as bullish as you think you would expect. Let's look at this initial run up. Yeah, lots of great pocket pivots, but then look here. You got the sellers all just after the top there. Right there's the switch right there. There's the switch after this and this and this. It switches, and then notice it never comes. It goes down. I think like that's a good trade. I think That's a good 16% trade. On the way up, you could try to trade these breakouts. But again, you got to see this on the 1 minute. You got to watch it. If you're living some kind of a life, you're probably not participating in this. So, but anyway, I think these are, um, if you're trying to study the markets and become good at markets and trading and these technicals, these are good things to look at, I think. How they behave. Like, oh, what's causing this? Nothing? All right, well, maybe trade it on the way up and look for some topping signals and try to get a short or two in. Um, especially when there's really not a lot of volatility. If you're here anyways, have some kind of a volatility scanner. Looks for incoming volatility after 10, 15, 30 minutes or something. Because this initial run up didn't take very long. 45 minutes. That's 45 minutes. This whole move was done. So you got to be on it real quick. Hey, what's up, Aram? You got to be on it real quick to even try to take advantage of something like this. Hey, Aram, how you doing in this chop? Are you all cash or? Okay. So let's just walk down this and kind of get the general. I want to show you guys what I was seeing, just the general. Um, I usually look at the daily when I do this, so I'll expand the daily chart here. I'll even just go full screen. Why not? Some of y'all looking on mobile or something. Um, yeah, so everything's just kind of in a general decline, and there's not a lot that's holding up sideways or is really bouncing very well. Want auto here? You didn't sell anything so far? Well, hope you're holding up well. Um, yeah, so it's just general declines here overall for the most part. I look at I what I do is I look at the oh there you go. I look at the dead right of the chart and then I use my peripheral to kind of gauge that and then I circle back if I need to. But most of these things are just in Chopsville at lows. Not a lot really going on. So you see CFX with a spike like that, that's fine, but there's no trend, there's no pattern, so it's not actionable. Cream has a big tail on the top. That's not nothing doing with that. So most of these alts are just living lower. EOS a little bit of support. So you see like EOS and ETC a little bit of support, but not doing anything. It's not it's not really it's not actionable. It's not actionable. It's not super constructive. And then you get to Gate Chain, which we've already covered. Gate Chain has been an anomaly in this market, which is why it's been on newsletters so much. H bar up here, kind of giving it up a little bit. I covered that the other day. It was starting to look pretty good, but we're already in the eyes. And this list is in alphabetical. I've only stopped like 2 or 3 times just to confirm that most of it's garbage. Jasmine had a good move up the other day. Still a lower high though. Not much to go through on that one. JUP very choppy, very choppy. KuCoin, KCS, I think, didn't we look at KCS? I believe we did. So, an MNT, not a leading name, just kind of chopping it sideways. I mean, it could try to go, but I don't think it's really that relevant. OM, we've talked about OM. So we pretty much talked about all the ones that are, you know, worth talking about. Everything else I just kind of let go. We'll get surprised every once in a while, obviously, like, Qdom, who the hell would have caught that? But for the most part, we try to get we tend to be and then I saw Rune. I almost put this on the newsletter because it was such a catastrophic failure that it's possible to do this. I don't know what's going on with Rune, but holy but Jesus, that is not a lot of confidence. Just short, just should have shorted that. But I'm not really pointing out big shorts at this moment. I don't think the market really warrants that unless you're in Rune. Then it really warrants it. So Sui here, that's on the top 20. We already covered that. So yeah, for the most part, everything there's not much to do. The best trading environments are really the ones where the market's shoring itself up and setting up, which we're not doing right now. We did cover usual the other day as it broke above that line, but there's no follow through on it yet. Maybe finding a low to try to buy in something like usual, but we could also just chop. So again, not much to do. We only have a couple left. So you can just tell this whole market is there's not a lot of appetite for risk in this market. not right now. Supports are loosely around, but we are happily drifting lower as well. And that's it. That's my whole list. That's what, 165 tokens or something like that. Oh, I thought it showed us the numbers. What's open list? Oh yeah. Oh, only nine. Oh, only 97. Oh, okay. I guess they got rid of a few. So yeah, there you go. Let's take a look at Solana there, while you're while you're in Solana. Yeah, Solana's an interesting spot. I don't like where it is in this. Um, we could just chop around for a while, especially in Solana and names like Ethereum, which they were starting to look healthy again a couple days ago, but then the market said, "Yeah, we're just not going to do that." 50%. Okay, so you got a little bit of so a 33% drop would be break even, right? The 150 level. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it is weird. It's definitely weird. So, taking that kind of macro bigger picture view, you know, uh, we could easily, if you look at the range on Solana. Hey, what's up, Black? The whole market I think is very indecisive. Very, very indecisive. I'm the only truth. No, I'm kind of one of the only. Well, I don't know about only. I don't even watch YouTube for crypto stuff. I'm the. I don't even know. I don't know, man. It's just what I do. I don't do a lot of public videos, as you guys know. Um, Although I thought about kind of getting back into that side of it because I did just take a big step back from. I ended up getting a job again. I did take a testing. Okay, there we go. All right, my microphone thing died. Sorry about that. Oh, did I mute my? No, my audio software failed, so I just looked down, saw it. I just had to fix it. Um, yeah, no. So I basically just took a big step back from my job, do a little bit of work from home, but I'm building. We're doing a huge addition. Well, not a huge addition, a big addition on the house, and a huge remodel. Most of the house is getting remodeled, and I'll be taking that on. So I thought about stepping back in the public YouTube sphere. Um, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna do the same videos I used to do. Um, I don't know what I want to do. Like, cause it come like, look, it's if I'm gonna do a lot of public YouTube videos, I feel like I should be making some kind of money, which means I got to do clickbaity shit, which I really don't want to do. I kind of just want to do the videos. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I did think about making some videos though. Um, so yeah, maybe you'll see me back on here. I'm probably gonna do some. I'm probably gonna do very. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm all over the damn place, man. I'm basically schizophrenic when it comes to ideas and execution. So, um, up or the same. So I ended up, um, so in my in my big account, I'm only down like 10 to 15% from its peak, which is still good, really, really good. Um, in my cash account, I did really good. I took, well, I'll show you what I did. I can't remember how I failed, but I did have a good I did have a pretty good loss streak. I do have to say that. So I took this leg in Tesla in I don't even remember the exact trade, but I think I took some here. I took some here. I think I did pretty good. I did pretty good, and then I ended up cashing out all of my gains, and then I ended up losing more than I cashed out. And then I did another trade, and I'm back to I'm almost back to break even, as a matter of fact, in the in my cash account too, where I was before I cashed out. It's kind of weird. I was at No, I'm still down. I'm still down like 30% in my cash account from the ultimate high, which is okay. Which is okay. Um, because I cashed a bunch out, which I'm still fine. I'm not complaining. But the market's just been weird, and I really wasn't. I wasn't in tune. I was working too much, and another reason why I half quit my job. And then yeah, my big account, I chopped that up a little bit too, but I'm all cash at the moment. I don't like anything the market's doing. When I'm chopping up, when I'm doing too much, when I'm not making money, I just go cash. And so I just go cash. I love being cash, and yeah, that's really all there is to it. Yeah. So basically cash right now. I think the market's really choppy. Yeah, I made a little bit of money in Tesla. At the same time, I took that kind of last leg in Nvidia here. Maybe no, it was here even just a few days, as a matter of fact. I think it was this one, and then I cashed out after 2 or 3 days. And what the fuck is this? Stupid random text message. Um, yeah, and then I was very fortunate. I didn't get caught up in any. I was cash for the gap down. I was very fortunate for that. My wife and kids got caught up in that. Soxel, you mentioned Soxel. Um, it's a mixed bag. It had a huge gap down. Fortunately, got supported. I'm hoping we just chop for a while and then it can come back. I hope we don't take legs lower, similar to what we did in 2022. It's possible because we're under the 200 daily moving average. We did find resistance at it here, just like we did here. If we take a leg lower, um, just have to cash out. Period. You know, it just has to. That's why I'm cash, Aram. I don't. Why do I want to trade in a hard market? Fuck that. Fuck that. It's all about saving the capital. I don't even mind if it. Whoops. It's all about saving capital. Actually, in Reddit yesterday, uh, I read a good post and I kind of outlaid my let me look at it off screen here real quick. I outlaid it I outlaid it pretty well, but I no longer want to be involved in garbage markets. Like you know how in life you don't deal with bullshit. You're like, yeah, this person is a drama queen. I don't need that in my life. I'm just not going to talk to them anymore. Or I'm not going to give them the time of day, or whatever the case may be. Um, it's kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. I'm like that with the markets. I just won't be involved. Why would I? Why would I be involved? I'll just stay cash. So I can't find the comment. But you know, when a market's hard, don't trade. You don't have to be involved. You know what I mean? And that's where you got to just figure out who you are as an investor slash trader, whatever you want to call it. That's all. Who are you? Who are you going to be? And whatever answer you come up with is the right answer. There's no wrong answer, right? You can't trade like me. We've tried that. Doesn't quite work. Um, English is Hodel Gang, so English knows who he is, you know. Um, you're a little bit in between a Rom. You need to figure it out. You know, you can run multiple strategies, but oh, Hutton Wolf, yeah, I think you mentioned that a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, these ones have been some pretty good volume right there. Good volume, need that price action to match. I would be intrigued with this volume, but I wouldn't be buying yet because there's no momentum to the upside. And Hut doesn't interest me at all until it breaks that level. Looks like a double bottom base, but it's got to get up here to 29, whatever. You can put a stop in under this low um, if you wanted to do something like that. MicroStrategy is the leader in the Bitcoin mining space. From what I've seen, I do go through these things uh, often enough. See, you're this far down from the high. I'm just not interested unless you do something very constructive. MicroStrategy, fairly concise action, declining volume situation, looks pretty good. Mara, choppy garbage. Iran, choppy garbage. Could be like a cup and handle thing. It's not tight like MicroStrategy is. Hut not as bad as some, but it could be a double bottom. I'd want it to get above here on good volume. CIFR, just way too volatile for me. Versus MicroStrategy, concise. You want concise, you want tight, you want controlled, and then you want things holding at highs. This is an actionable chart. Most of the other ones are not. Uh, we did talk about Wolf was good for a while, right? And it was, and then it became not good. So you have to roll out of that. MicroStrategy is the leader in this space if you're doing this, in my opinion. There's also BITX, which is a 2 times Bitcoin ETF, which could be good. You know, so that's kind of yeah, that's basically it. I think yeah, so I'm basically cash and I'm happy with that. Look, if the market, and this goes for crypto too, guys. This isn't just for stocks, but this goes for everything. If so, I was liking what was happening here, and I really didn't get involved. I actually got involved too late. I got involved too late, took a couple of hits, and then I did good on Reddit. I traded this breakout on Reddit here, uh, did pretty good, got that money back. I'm break even. I cashed out. I'm like, fine, I'm done. I'm fucking done. I hate breaking even. I hate losing money. I hate it. You should hate it too. You shouldn't stand the drawdowns. Yeah, in my opinion, that's well. This is how I trade. You know what I mean? I say you should, but everyone's different. If you're part of Hodl Gang, obviously you're fine with drawdowns. It's almost unhealthy how much I don't like drawdowns. It's almost unhealthy. Um, but I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, when this market gets good again, I'm just gonna make so much fucking money. Who gives a shit whether I'm just cash? You know what I mean? Like I just don't care. I just don't care. And the problem is now that I'm sitting on top of the mountain, if you will, and I got more mountain to climb. But now that I'm on top of the mountain, um, and I've seen what the climb up looks like, you just shouldn't care as much. In reality, you should be focused, you should be analyzing the chart, but you shouldn't care that much. You should care when the market gets good. If you can develop a spidey sense of when the market gets, I think that's the biggest thing is developing a, so, and I keep going back to the NVIDIA chart, it's just so clear. If you go back to this NVIDIA chart, if your spidey senses don't tingle at this, you're not good with technicals. Okay? You're just not good with technicals. If your spidey senses aren't tingling with this, you're not good with technicals. Build up that skill set. Once you have the spidey sense, wait for the spidey sense to go off. Pay extreme attention and try not to fuck it up. And you do that enough, and eventually you'll make all the mistakes and you'll stop fucking it up. That's how it goes. Right at 65. Okay. Well, I guess the question is why. Well, why did you get in, and why did you get out? Well, yeah, well, well. Is it, which 65 are on the 65 from June or July, or the 65 from October? Which one? If it's the 65 from July, you should have sold. In my opinion, that's how I would have traded it. You did the right thing. If you are from 65 over here, I'll wonder why you got out. And maybe it was a good decision, and that's fine too. You could be in this situation and it not qualify for you, and you exit and it goes, and then it just is what it is. You know. So when you make those statements, oh man, I had it when it was 65. That is a statement that you need to use as a trigger You need to, it was June. Okay, yeah, so you got out. Okay. Well, then your stop should have been tighter. So, again, it comes down to strategy, Aram, you know? It just comes down to strategy. It comes down to why am I in this? When am I getting out? You know, you shouldn't be like Soxel down 30%. I know with the gap and everything, that's kind of hard to deal with. Um, so if I'm going to be in the three times ETF space, which is what Soxel is, and it gaps down like it did, you either take the loss or hold it. And the floor hasn't fallen out of Soxel yet, so I think holding it isn't the end of the world. If the floor falls out, you have to exit. Period. In my opinion, you have to exit if that's the strategy. If you're going to trade in uptrends only, which is what I do, I like to trade in uptrends only. If you want to trade in only uptrends, you can't be involved in chop. You're going to give up some of the uptrend to make sure it's an uptrend, and that's okay. But if you're going to hold through this, then you hold through this and you deal with the 30%. That's it. If you're going to trade in Reddit like an individual stock and you're going to buy over here, which is a pretty good buy, 65 over here is a nice buy. I'm not mad at that. Okay, but what ends up happening here, let's kind of run through this. It breaks up. It well, you have to look at it. It breaks up, right? You go sideways for a bit. It gets, see, this is worrisome. The fact that it came down, came up. You have a bunch of these wicks at the top. I'd be on edge and I would have sold probably about 69, 67. If I held through that, I probably would have sold on this reversal candle, as a matter of fact. Breaking these moving averages would have been a no-go. Letting it get down further than that is an absolute non-possibility. Okay? You need to get more disciplined. You need to get more disciplined. And then if it comes back, see, this is hard to buy over here at 65. There's not a lot of great entries over here. Um, if you bought here, earnings are coming up. It's hard to hold through earnings, and then you just kind of miss most of it. I missed most of it until up here, and I was flat in my big account, and I made like 2 grand in my little account, which was the same as some losses I had. So there you go. And then wait for the market to get better. That's all I can do. You just have to wait. And that's what. Remember, Aram, we did this how many months ago? I told you to sell some stuff. You're like, yeah, it feels better. It feels more clear. If you need to clear your brain, just go cash. It's okay. It's okay to be cash, Aram. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be cash. It's fine. The SEC is not going to come down and close your trading accounts while you're cash. It's not going to happen. So I think I think that's the thing to realize is that it's okay to be cash. Um, you know, figure out what mistakes you're making, stop making them, make less of them. If it's choppy and you're losing money, get out, and then that's tough, but that's okay. I was at 600 down to 100. I was at 50 down to 20. I was at 12 down to 0. I mean, pick the number. You know what I mean? It's okay. So hunker, yeah. So yeah, that's okay. Hunker down to your core strategy. Like I don't know all the positions you have. By the way, we're public if you didn't know that. You got to get down to your core strategy. Whatever the core strategy, the thing that works best for you. Whatever you can handle and manage. Practice taking profits. That was one thing that turned the corner for me. Is it was about charts and charts and charts and charts, and I just kept taking losses and losses and losses and losses. And then eventually, I'm like, I end up getting up and I take a loss. I get up and I take a loss. Why don't I just practice taking money? Isn't this whole thing about making money? That was my thought I had one day. I'm like, okay, let's just practice making money. And then something would go up. I was doing options. Something would go up. I'd make 25, 30%, or I'd make 60% and it was up 20%. I'd just take it. And then I did that a bunch. And before I knew it, I doubled an account. I'm like, whoa, wow, that was cool. I went from 12,000 to 20,000, or not even double. I think it was like 20,000 or 15 even. It's like 12 to 15. Okay, cool. I made some money. And then what I realized in that moment is that I didn't care at all about the technicals on the chart. I was just happy I made some money. I'm like, oh, But you've already reached that part, Aram. You're already past that. This is just kind of what worked it for me. Like, oh, I made some money. This is great. And part of it probably I got lucky that the market was pretty decent at that time, right? And then I was making some money, doubled the account. I'm like, oh, this is cool. So now I just double my position size and just keep doing the same thing. Okay, the goal is to make the money. I doubled the account. Let's do it again. And then I tripled the account after that because the market got really good and I just kept doing the same thing and I got lucky in that regard. And then it just, it goes from there. So, but you can't forget those lessons once you learn them. And I think that's a key factor for some people is making sure those lessons stick. You know, those lessons have to stick. You can't go back to the old way of thinking. You can't go back to the old way of thinking, and you have to stay plugged in. You have to stay plugged in. I've made that mistake too, Aram. 100%. Um, yeah, and you can only take that lesson so many times as well, right? You have to pay attention. If you're not plugged in, just go cash. Go cash. And just be happy being cash. So I kind of do at the end a little bit. I do at the end a little bit. I don't know if you stay to the end, but usually the last minute or two I do cover stocks. But it's really been fairly choppy, so I don't. Oh, not today. Well, we're still in today. we're still in. We're still in today. Um, Yeah, so if things are choppy, if you want me to cover like a specific name around, just let me know. Just say, hey, can you cover this stock? I'll cover it. I don't care. It's fine. Just ask me a name to cover, and I'll do it. I'll try to keep Slack up more than I have lately. Yeah, but again, just matters what you're doing. But I have been. At the end of the videos, I've gone into the stock market for a while. I don't do it at the beginning. I just do it at the end. Um, But yeah, I do that. But again, if you want me to cover a name, let me know and I'll cover a name. But yeah, the market. I mean, it was good. It was choppy. It's back to choppy again, but we're not backing away. And I like I said, I'm cash. If it pops up, I'll probably jump in again to some three times ETFs. I don't see too many. Palantir could be a breakout opportunity, but it has earnings coming up. And the market's so weird right now that if the trades I take don't generally work, I tend to stay cash until I see better things. And it's just a quality thing for me. If I don't see quality, I don't want to put money at risk. You know, I don't have to make money every week, every day, and I don't. Even when I'm trading, I don't. you know, I'm not a great day trader. I want to get a little better at smaller term swing trading and take advantage of pointed opportunities, which I will focus on some of that after the renovation is done. So, well, I have quit my job actually. I didn't want to fully quit for a number of reasons. Number one, because I get a discount on my audio video equipment, so I want to get that discount throughout. And I do like the industry, so I want to stay plugged in. So I'm doing remote engineering, and I will go in and build some equipment racks every once in a while. So I think I got the best of both worlds. But I told him there may be weeks where I can't come into work and I can't do stuff. And he's like, yeah, that's cool. We can work with that. So yeah, I basically quit my job. I did what I wanted to do. Um, yeah, I'm in a good spot. I'm in a good spot. Yeah, well, it's funny because I was ordering all this equipment and I'm like, oh, I got to order. Then I got to quit. I kind of feel like a dick doing that, but whatever. And then I'm like, I really don't want to quit for multiple reasons. Number one, because I could need more equipment during down the road, and then I do want to stay plugged in. So yeah, I got the best of both worlds. Yeah, it's good. He's good. So back to BTC. I think we'll end it here. I got to run. I got something to do in about half an hour. I got to get ready for that. So I think we're just chopping. I think we're just chopping. It's hard to tell if we're gonna fall from here. We obviously could. We got a nice rejection candle here on Solana at the top over all that all-time high, which is what this red line is. So it's possible. You never know what's gonna happen. Um, it's chop. Yeah, it's just kind of back to chop. But we can easily turn it around. Hopefully, the conditions warrant that in the near future. But we'll see, guys. So yeah, Rom, if you want me to cover some individual names that you're wondering about, go ahead and throw them in Slack. I'll keep Slack up, and I'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, I do cover the market a little bit at the end of the videos. Usually the movers and shakers and the leaders and the indexes and a few ETFs. A few of those 3 times ETFs. I think they're great, even investing vehicles. I think they're great. That's what all my wife's accounts in 3 times ETFs, kids' accounts are in 3 times ETFs. So I think they're great. All right, guys. Well, hey, have a great day. Stay safe out there. If I don't see you guys tomorrow, see you on Monday. Have a great day.